It's Dan from The Rock Show, and whilst you don't need much of an introduction at the moment, this is While She Sleeps.
What's up?
Hello.
How's it going?
And you guys are headlining the pit stage today.
Headlining, can you believe it?
I know, it's crazy.
I mean, I can, but...
I was going to say, you guys are still a little bit stunned from the last 6 months to a year of just being who you are.
Kind of numb to it, really, because it's just been absolutely, since literally building the warehouse to now, we've had no time off whatsoever, and it's just been all go. It's just been systems go. Yeah, so
pretty fast.
So it's just we get some time off actually after this, where we don't have to think about or do anything, which is going to be really nice. But yeah, it's we don't take any of it for granted, and it's amazing to see how well the album's done, especially releasing it the way we did, which was always a little bit questionable whether it was going to go well or not.
Nerve-wracking.
When we first set out to sort of release the record in that way, we're a bit sort of, I guess, nervous or apprehensive about how it would actually work and how much work it involved from our side of things, but also whether people would get hold of it and really run with it the way that they did. But I think people like to stick it to the man, and I think that's what our band sort of gives people a little bit of, and I think they felt like they wanted to get behind it. So for us, it's been an amazing outcome, and yeah, I think
it's quite a statement as well. It's a statement for optimistic change in the current paradigm of the music industry.
Yep.
It's you don't have to be stuck in this system where a band can't make a living for what they're doing, and or struggling to even survive without big payouts from labels and then having to recoup that. I think it's great. I think it's a statement for positive change.
And that was what your decision was based around, just to not be beholden to any labels and try and actually continue as a band, I imagine.
A little bit. I mean, the Sleeps crew in general, from being younger, we've always been pretty bit punk rock about the way we've gone about things. Not necessarily in our sound, although I do think we have a lot of punk rock within us, the sound. But just the way we've done stuff, we've always done our own artwork and sprayed our own sort of stencils and done everything kind of DIY, always loaded our own gear, and you know what I mean, when people take a lot of crew and stuff. So I think rolling it out in that way sort of made sense for us at that time after going ahead and trying to build our own space from the ground up kind of thing. It was just let's take this one step further and really see where we can go with it, and yeah, it feels really special to be, like you say, headlining the pit stage and having the support of people across the UK has been awesome.
So, when you guys were writing the actual tracks of the album, because let's be fair, they're blinders.
Cheers.
And I think you kind of blew up the internet a little bit when you released a few of them, because it made your stock just go so high.
Yeah.
Did you have a feeling when you were writing them, these are absolutely...
Yeah, I mean, you always do. So you always set out to write the best album you possibly can and beat its predecessor.
Yeah.
It's always been the case. If that's not the case, then you shouldn't be writing a new album. So you always get that feeling, that new buzz when you write a new part and you're just oh, that's really exciting. But at the same time, you're in your own bubble. You know what I mean? You'd never get any outsider perspective on it because we're just so drenched in it, and it's always hard to get an accurate perspective of how it's going to be received by people and whatever. So but yeah,
I always say revealing art, no matter what it is like doing a painting in a way. Being shut up and working on something and then sort of just turning it around and revealing it to people. You don't know what reaction you're gonna get, and that's always a bit nail biting for me. I'm always a bit if it doesn't sound like my sugar, it's not kind of heavy enough, and that always freaks me a bit. It's where we're going with the direction. But I think the main thing that we sort of taught ourselves with this record is to sort of try and get rid of the apprehensions on what anyone's going to think of it, and write for ourselves and try and enjoy the writing process as much as possible, although it can be very new.
Yeah, because we've always been quite a diverse band in terms of sound anyway, and we've always let ourselves be a lot of freedom when it comes to specific parts and how they sound. But with this one, it was times 10, and we were just you know what, who cares what it sounds like as long as we love it? And I think that's why we push the boundaries even further with this one.
That's fair.
We don't want to be confined to any sort of boxes in terms of our genre,
no, God no,
at all. So I think this was a good way of us showing everyone that you know, the next few albums might not be the same as stuff you've already heard. And I think keeping our fans on our toes with what's going to come out of the band next is a great way of keeping people excited about the future of While She Sleeps.
And sorry, just keep going on about it on this subject. But it's just like every time we write an album, and like every time we allow ourselves even more freedom, we'll just keep doing that and keep doing that, and we'll always like have the last album as the benchmark of what we sound like, and we'll
try and push it,
and we'll push from there. So yeah, we're always excited for what new sounds are going to come out of us.
Well, we quite like it because we follow a lot of heavy bands, and a lot of people get formulaic without realizing. And one of the things I particularly like is you guys have broken down like the preconceptions of what you can do with vocals, because it's like, well, we got everybody sings, it seems, in Sleeps, and but you've changed it so that you can have like a sort of clean with screaming, and you've got this amazing diversity across it. Was that actually an aim, or was that just something that naturally came out as you were writing it?
I think when we first sat down and stuff like that, and Sean, our guitarist, was saying he wanted to get involved with vocals more, and then so we were all chatting about things, and it wasn't a direct influence at all on the record, but in a similar way to how Alexis on Fire throw their vocal around between different vocalists, has always been like, we've always been like really enjoyed that sound. And I think having a new vocal pop in and out constantly, especially in our music, really makes it all pop a bit more, and keeps it all very interesting and driving. So that was one of the bands that we kind of were like, it'd be a good way to throw our vocals around in a similar way. So when we went into the studio kind of thing, it was like, let's all have a go at different bits and see what sounds we can get out. But yeah, it was definitely on purpose that we're all singing now, and Aaron and Sav as well. They all do the singing on the record and stuff. So it's just great. It's just good fun to have everyone willing to pitch in and do gang vocals, or like try and hit a harmony or whatever. Like it's just a nice time. We can all get involved with that.
And you guys have definitely nailed the ability to write something that a crowd can sing along to as well. I was listening across the albums the other day. I was like, you guys have nailed it. It's just like nice intro, everybody can sing along. Is that something that you plan, like the live stage, the way it's going to come across? Or?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, you get your bits where you write it musically, and you're like, yeah, let's put a vocal there, and you know that's where everyone's going to sing the part. You know what I mean? Like if the hook's big enough.
It's one of the best feelings is when people sing your lyrics back to you. So. And one of the things with While She Sleeps is we love that people come to our shows and feel very unified. You know, there's a big unity vibe with our band, especially with the title You Are We from the current album, and we've always had that running through our themes about togetherness and sort of breaking down boundaries and sort of being together and trying to fight different causes, and you know, just being decent people, I think, is what we're getting at. And for us, it's a way of expressing our unity, and especially so at a live show, that really comes across when you've got everyone singing with you, and you know, we don't want it to be sort of us and them as much as it sort of has to be to a degree. We want it to, at our live shows, we want it to be a beer swilling sing along, you know what I mean? with mosh pits and just a generally good time, you know. So hopefully, that does carry, and I think we stick a few sing-alongs in there to get people singing with us. But that's
some of it's definitely on purpose, is what he's saying.
Well, I'm going to wish you guys the best of luck. Obviously, you're still in the You Are We sort of buzz at the moment, and I imagine at some point on your downtime, you're going to have a moment where it hits you in the last 6 months, sort of catches up, and you go, actually, we did just do that. So, congratulations. I personally think you're one of the most deserving bands of the success that you've
Thank you, appreciate it.
So
that means a lot.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Later on.
Oh, yes.